Hi everyone, my name is Dina Hilbig and I'm the school principal at MLR K. I'd like to visit with you about Kindergarten Roundup and to give you information to help your 2020-2021 school year be successful. In order to do that, I've prepared a PowerPoint that I would like to share with you. So I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to get started with some introductions. We have 4 kindergarten teachers at MLR K, and they are Amy Holgerson, Christina Corbett, JC Murphy, and Marcy Wenzel. In addition, we have several support staff that help your students each school day, and they are our lead teacher, Ashley Humiston, our school counselor, Carrie Slothauer, our reading coach, Corey Ritter, our school nurse, Leslie Foose, our school secretary, Buffy True, and our instructional assistant, Vicki Sweet. Meadowlark Ridge is a kindergarten through 5th grade building, and we have approximately 450 students. You may have heard us called MLR, and that stands for Motivated Leaders in Learning and Life Skills, showing respect and responsibility. We feel it's really important that we communicate to your kids that no matter what size they are, they can make a difference in their community, nation, and world. And we do that by participating in some service projects. In 2018-19, we focused on Dimes for Disaster. We collected items for the food bank. We participated in Project Salina. And then we also focused on a Olaf week in the 2019-20 school year, where we collected paper towels and toilet paper for the Salina Shares group. It's a fun way to bring us all together as a family, and the students really seem to enjoy it. Parents get into it too. So you'll want to be listening for what we'll be focusing on for the 2020-21 school year. Just know that we are Meadowlark Ridge. You may be wondering, what does an all-day kindergarten schedule look like? And it's the same hours as students in grades 1 through 5. All students start at 8:30 in the morning, and the school day ends at 3:25 p.m. Now, with students who want to eat breakfast at school, they can arrive at 8 a.m. and go down to our cafeteria to be served. For students that are choosing to eat breakfast at home, there's really no reason that they need to arrive prior to 8:20 a.m. At 8:20, we have a bell, and students report to their classrooms where they unpack their bags, sharpen pencils, get settled for the school day. The tardy bell will sound at 8:30. During the school day, kindergartners will participate in a morning message and calendar time. They'll have whole group reading and math. They'll have small group reading and math. They'll have specials, which are PE, music, science, social studies, and library. They'll have a snack time and, of course, recess and lunch. They'll participate in read aloud and have a planned in creative playtime, and they'll end the day with daily news. You know, it's important to make sure our students get started off right. And so you may be wondering, what can I do over the summer to help with that? Well, helping your child learn how to share and take turns is going to be really important. You can do this through board games. You can also help by giving them multi-step instructions, asking them simple things like, I'm going to ask you 3 things to do. Can you clap your hands, jump up and down, and then sit in a chair? Those types of things are going to help them become a good listener and focus on what's being said in the classroom. Learning self-help skills is going to be important too. Putting on their own jacket, being able to zip it up. When it gets colder and students start wearing pants to school, being able to snap their own pants and zip their zippers. Those types of things are going to be helpful. You can imagine if you had 16 to 20 kindergartners and all of them needed help zipping their coats. That takes some time, which takes away from recess. So the more our students can be independent, the better. So working on that over the summer is a good thing to do. You know, another thing that parents can do is help their student by learning to count. We ask that kindergartners are able to count to 20, and this is something that you can do whether you're at home or in the car or even on a walk. Counting out loud to 20, having them repeat after you, and then finally saying it together before moving on to them counting on their own is a great way to get them ready for kindergarten. Rhyming is another. Focusing on a particular word and changing the first letter so that they learn that words can be manipulated by the first consonant is a great way to introducing them to learning to read. Giving you an example, the word red, changing it to bed, and then fed, and then Ted. Those are examples that you can give with your kids. And even if you make up nonsense words, it's okay as long as it rhymes. That's going to help them in the long run. And that's something that you can do all in fun at home. You know, limiting screen time is another really important thing to do. Oftentimes we find ourselves in situations where we may hand a child a phone or a tablet or the computer where they might be playing a game, watching a video, even doing something educational. But I think it's important for us to ask ourselves, how much time are we really allowing our students to do that? And then the second question, how much time am I really engaging in conversation with my child instead? We want parents talking with their kids. We want you asking them questions. Conversations that promote finding out their favorite food, their favorite fruits and vegetables, the things that they like to do, their favorite color. Those are going to help further develop your child's language. And we have seen that with the introduction of technology, there are fewer conversations happening at home. Make the decision to start engaging in deliberate conversations with your child each and every day and limiting the amount of screen time that they have. I'm sure you're going to find that it's going to make a difference. Did you know research shows that students should enter kindergarten knowing 18 uppercase letters and 15 lowercase letters? If this is a challenge for your child, this is something you can work on this summer at home too. We also want to focus on handwriting. And oftentimes we tend to want to teach our students capital letters, but I would like you to focus on teaching them lowercase letters instead. You may wonder why. Well, the fact is, most of the things that we read have letters in lowercase. Now, if you want to help your student learn to write their name, please make them learn how to write it using a capital letter in the beginning. But then focus on the lowercase letters because that will help them when they start kindergarten here in August. Now, we have something called the Ages and Stages questionnaire that you may have already participated in with your pediatrician. It is an acronym of ASQ, and it is something that became mandated in public schools in the state of Kansas in 2018 and 19. The purpose is to gather information from around the state on kindergarten readiness, and we report all those scores to the Kansas State Department of Education. Your student is going to participate in this questionnaire this coming school year. So you may wonder, well, when will this happen? The screenings will happen on August 11th and 12th, and they'll be here in the school building. Now, if you have other students of school age, they will already be in school starting August 11th, but our kindergartners won't start until August 13th. That gives us a day and a half to be able to have all of you bring your children in, asking them these questions, inputting them into the computer, and then having a one-on-one conversation with the classroom teacher. So all of you that are thinking, gosh, if I could just have a sit down with the classroom teacher before school starts, you're gonna get it. We're gonna ask you to make an appointment on August 11th or 12th. It'll be about a 50-minute session. We'll have you bring your child in, and you will conduct this survey with them via a computer online. And then after the survey, we will print the report and you'll sit down and have a one-on-one with the classroom kindergarten teacher. That will be an opportunity for you to share things about your child that you think will be important for the teacher to know, as well as ask any questions that you might otherwise have. Now, the ASQ, as I mentioned, is an assessment that we're going to be giving them, but it's actually more appropriately called a developmental screener. It's going to focus on the following skills: fine and gross motor skills, communication skills, problem solving, and personal social skills. I've included some questions to help give you an idea of what to expect. The first one is on communication, and here you would give your child a series of 3 directions. For example, give me the pen, open the book, and stand up. If they were able to do that, you would mark yes. If they're able to follow 3-step directions some of the time, you would mark sometimes. And if they're unable to do that at this time, you would mark not yet. For gross motor, an example they give is, can your child throw a ball overhand at least 6 feet away? You would mark yes, sometimes, or not yet. And lastly, one for fine motor, they ask your child to trace a line using a pencil. And we count how many times your student is able to either go off the line or how well they can stay on the line. And according to that, we will mark whether they're able to do so with a yes, sometimes, or not yet. The test really isn't a test, it's a screener, and there isn't a right or a wrong. It just helps us better understand where your student is as they come into kindergarten so that we can take them and help them grow to their maximum potential. You know, talking about potential, the first day of kindergarten is going to look very different than the last day of kindergarten, and it grows throughout the school year. So in August and September, our classrooms might look and feel more like a preschool, but by the end of the year, they look and feel more like a first grade setting. And so I've created this diagram to help you see that at the beginning of the year, the first few months of school, you're going to see a classroom that's rich in child-initiated play. They're going to be exploring their world through play and the active presence of their teachers. And it's going to transition to a playful classroom with focused learning, where the teacher is guiding learning with rich and experiential activities. There really is quite a transformation that takes place, and you will see that with your kindergartner at home too. Now, enrollment is coming up. We do it online. Many of you received a mailer because you had communicated with us that you had a child that was going to be 5 on or before August 31st. And so online enrollment is going to open on July 14th. If you completed this sheet and mailed it back to us, you will receive a letter with a username and a password. This will allow you to conduct the online enrollment. Now, if you didn't get one of these mailings, it's okay. You can email our secretary at buffy.true@usd305.com, and she can email these sheets to you. It's really important that you do reach out to us, though, right away so that we can get you in our computerized system and allow you to be able to enroll from home. Now, all is not lost if you don't get that turned in. We do have walk-in enrollment, but the date for that has yet to be announced. So if you do need to be taking advantage of the walk-in enrollment, please be listening to your local radio station or checking out our school website or the district website, because it will communicate that date for you. Again, if you don't have the mailer or you need another copy of the mailer, you can receive that by emailing the secretary at buffy.true@usd305.com, and she will email them to you. The first day of school for your kindergartner, as I mentioned, is going to be August 13th, 2020. Students can arrive at 8 a.m. to eat breakfast, or for those who have eaten breakfast at home, they can arrive at 8:20 to be getting settled in their classroom. The school day will be from 8:30 to 3:25 p.m. Our first 2 days of kindergarten are going to look a little different than the following week, and that's because we do it camp style. Your student will be assigned a colored wristband on August 13 and rotate to all 4 teachers throughout that Thursday and Friday. And the purpose of that is to create fluid groups where we can find an more equal heterogeneous setting for all 4 of the classrooms. So students will follow a typical kindergarten day schedule, but we'll consider those groups fluid until we find that appropriate grouping. Now, teachers will celebrate classroom placement with their students at a Meet Your Teacher on Friday, August 14th at 5:30 p.m. So students can bring mom and dad in with their book bag and school supplies, and they're going to find out who their homeroom teacher is. Now, I've said it once, but I want to say it again. It's really important your child come to this meeting because they will be able to introduce their homeroom teacher to you. So the first day of kindergarten assigned to a teacher will be Monday, August 17th, 2020. And if they didn't bring their school supplies to meet your teacher that Friday before, they're welcome to do that Monday morning. Mom and Dad, you're important. And because you're so important, I'm going to ask you to help in developing some important routines. It's going to be good for you to talk about your child's school day, asking them specific questions such as, who did you play with? Who did you sit by? What did you do in music? Those are questions that will engage you in conversations, and they're so important to have. It really communicates to your child you care about their school day. You can also go through their backpack together, talking about what they did and how their day went. This is a great way to get to better know what happens in the classroom each day. In addition, we want you to read to your students. Did you know reading aloud builds word sound awareness in children? And this is a potent predictor in reading success. We want you to read aloud because it's going to give your child the opportunity to practice listening, which is a crucial skill for kindergarten and beyond. Many of you may be wondering, will my child qualify for busing? Well, there's a couple things we need to take into consideration when we look at transportation. But first of all, during online enrollment, if you think you want transportation, we need you to click yes in Skyward. Now remember, I said you would receive a letter with a username and a password that's going to get you into the online enrollment system. Throughout that process, it will come to a question where it asks you about busing. And on that question, you will need to click yes to be considered for transportation. What happens after that is Durham School Services, our contracting bus provider, will take all addresses into consideration, and those that qualify, you will be contacted by Durham School Services, and they will communicate your child's bus stop, their pickup, and drop-off times. I think it's important to note, parents of kindergartners, we must have an adult at the school bus stop that your child is dropped off at. The school bus drivers are not allowed to drop your child off at the bus stop without having at least older siblings or a parent present to be able to walk them home safely. Some of you may be saying, okay, so how do I know if I qualify for busing? The general rule is that if you qualify, the general rule is you will qualify for busing if you live 2.5 miles or further from the Metal Arc Ridge neighborhood. But there are some exceptions. So students living in the McDonald's Oxbow Park area or west of the river below the bridge, and also in the Markley Road area, you would qualify for busing because those areas are considered hazard areas with traffic. Another important thing to note, if you live in the Fairdale Apartments across Crawford from our school, you do not have busing. So it will be important for you to practice as a family how to manipulate the crosswalk and cross Crawford Street safely and then walk on to school. Child nutrition benefits are important, and you may be eligible to receive healthy school meals at a reduced price or even free. So if your child is eligible for free meals, that means that our kindergarten students can eat breakfast and lunch at no charge. It means that their textbook fees will be waived, and it also means that you can apply for free school supplies to be distributed at the back to school fair. How do you apply? Well, applications will be available in mid-July, or you can call and pick up an application at our district food service office. You can also apply during enrollment, and you can find those applications on our district website as stated below. Metal Arc Ridge's PTO, otherwise known as Parent-Teacher Organization, is a pretty awesome group of individuals to belong to, and we hope that you will consider being a part of our PTO. We meet on the first Thursday of every month, and the first meeting for the 2020-21 school year will be in September. So some things that Metal Arc PTO helps us with include the Metal Arc Marathon, which happens in the first few weeks of school. We have a fun night, which is a great night for families to gather and be together. The kids are able to play games. So there's food and fun for all. We have a family bingo night, which has been very successful. And that's another night where families can come together, play bingo, and have some snacks. We have school book fairs that PTO help us with, and those happen during parent-teacher conference times. And then also the Metal Arc Lock-In, which is an opportunity for your child to be able to come and spend an after-school evening with us, where from 3:30 to 7 o'clock, they'll come and have a snack, participate in some crafts, eat some supper, and watch a movie with all of their teachers. A pretty fun event to take a part of. And we wouldn't be able to do it without our parent-teacher organization. So I do hope you'll consider being a member. So you have some to-dos, Mom and Dad. I am asking you to submit the papers that we mailed to you. And as I mentioned, if you didn't get a mailer, please contact our secretary and she can mail them to you. But they are the demographic page. This gives us your child's first name and last name. It's your address. It's your emergency contact information. It's all the important information that we need to put you into our Skyward system so that you can complete the enrollment process online. We also need you to make sure that you're making appointments with your physicians to complete physical examinations and get your child's immunizations updated for the coming school year. We need you to submit a state-issued birth certificate, and some of you may need to order that. And so please take time to do that now. We also are asking parents to sign a release of information so that we can contact your child's preschool. There is a submission for proof of address, but I'm asking you to hold off on that for now because we'll be looking for utility bills dated after July 1. So don't worry about that one. We'll be waiting for that after the July 1st date. And then lastly, we want you to call the office to schedule an ASQ, Ages and Stages questionnaire, screening time. And these times are available all day August 11th or in the morning of August 12th. And remember, this is a screener where we want you to bring your child. Well, I've given you a lot of information and I'm sure you have some questions. If you do, you can email buffy.true@usd305.com or you can call and leave a message at 785-309-4300. I really do look forward to meeting you all in August. Thank you.